Madam Speaker, in light of the member's comments about apparently him saying he wants to do more for Ukraine, I wonder if there would be unanimous consent for the adoption of a motion put on notice by the member for Dufferin-Caledon that it be an instruction to the Standing Committee on International Trade that during its consideration of C-57, an act to implement the 2023 Free Trade Agreement between Canada and Ukraine, the committee be granted the power to expand the scope of the bill in order to support expanded munitions production in Canada and increasing munition exports to Ukraine and support the development of weapons and munitions manufacturing capabilities in Ukraine by Canadian industry. I hope there be unanimous consent for the adoption of that motion so we can move forward.
Que tous ceux qui s'opposent à ce que l'honorable député propose, la motion veulent bien dire non? No. There is no unanimous consent. The honourable official opposition House Leader has a point of order.
I have a very quick procedural question, Madam Speaker. Will Hansard reflect the fact that it was the Liberal member for Winnipeg North that said no?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The member said, what would happen if the Conservative motion passed to expand the scope? Well, it's quite simple what would happen. The amendments that I have drafted that would expand the scope of the bill to make specific legislative changes to expedite weapons transfers to Ukraine, those amendments could be proposed, and those amendments, if adopted, would then become part of this legislation. It wouldn't in any way undermine the existing agreement. It would simply be a matter of Canada adding additional legislative measures that would expedite the sale of weapons to Ukraine. Things like, for instance, putting Ukraine on the list of open policy countries, which would reduce the time and review standard required in order to get these weapons to Ukraine. Things like having EDC and BDC play a greater role in supporting the manufacturing of weapons in Ukraine through Canadian business investment. These are concrete measures that would make an actual difference to Ukraine as it fights the war. Why doesn't the member support those measures?
Exactly.